All right, let's get started. So you're here for Artificial Intelligence, AI. It's a big room, so if you talk, no one's going to be able to hear around you. And I'm not going to use a microphone today because I don't feel like stressing my neck out. We don't have a cordless. So instead, I would have to lean into something like this for 8 hours, and that's really not going to work for me. So I'm not going to use it. So I tried to move my desk a little bit closer so you guys can hear me. But holler if you can't hear me because this is a big room and it's really hard to hear me. So what we're going to do right now is go over the syllabus and the way the course is going to run and our weekend schedule. Lucky for you, you've got a little bit of break tomorrow because we're not going to start the class on time tomorrow. And those guys who are here today who are listening to this are going to have this information. Everybody else is going to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning and realize, oh, class doesn't start till 1? So make a mental note. Tomorrow morning, class will start at 1 p.m. There is no morning session tomorrow. Saturday, 1 p.m. It's a little break for you guys who showed up today. You know that. I'm not sending a message out do not send a message out to the rest of the class. It's for you guys who are here, who show up in the morning, who have this information. So this is your bonus for being here on time today. You know that tomorrow you can sleep in. And you don't have to fight the Saturday traffic. Or there is no Saturday traffic. All right, so the reason for this is because I'm doing a conference. I'm presenting at a conference tomorrow morning at the GMIC conference, which is right around the block from here. And we have a long break today for lunch, by the way. So we're going to break from noon till 1 p.m. Did I say 1 or 2 to the other guy? What time did I tell the other guy? I told him 1. We're going to take a 2-hour lunch today from noon to 2. I thought it meant to say 2 o'clock for him. We're starting at 2 o'clock because I have to go over to the conference to register today. So, long story short, we're kind of doing both together in all one weekend. But it gives you guys an extra long lunch. So today's lunch, for those of you who are talking, today's lunch is between 12 and 2 p.m. We come back at 2, and I'll try to remind you of this when we break for lunch. Yes, go ahead and move up closer if you can't hear me. Yeah, thank you. All right, so what you're looking at is the syllabus for the course. Those are the changes I just gave you a few minutes ago. The syllabus for the course is right here. This is Artificial Intelligence. If you haven't realized, we're doing attendance twice, once in the morning, and the attendance lasts for a half hour, and then once after the lunch break. So you probably do want to plan on showing up twice. For those people who weren't in the other course, this is brand new information for you. You have to attend 70% of the course to get a passing grade for the course. There are some assignments that you'll be doing in class during the day to make things a little bit easier for you, lighten it up a little bit, not as much as me talking all day. You guys get to do some work. And that stuff will be submitted into the EMS, and it will be due by Tuesday evening. So you have all the way through the weekend, so you don't have to worry about, I didn't bring my computer. And I see some people without computers, which is kind of interesting. You want to bring a computer because that's how you're going to get your work done. And that's how you're going to be able to submit your items that are going to be due for today. So without a computer, it's really, do you have a computer? Okay, bring it tomorrow. Or bring it later, huh? Okay. All right, so what is this course about? It's about artificial intelligence. It's actually kind of a fun course. It's not too bad. It's not as boring or as dry as Oracle, actually. That was dry material last week, I'm sorry. This one's a little bit more exciting because this one has to do with stuff you may not be familiar with, and it's kind of out-of-the-box thinking. It's a hybrid field. It's not necessarily just computer science. So artificial intelligence, which is not a bad idea to describe what it is, it is, falls into a couple of different disciplines. It crosses over with psychology, crosses over with computer science, with math, statistics, business, marketing, data mining kind of stuff. It's a hybrid kind of field. So nobody actually ever majors in artificial intelligence, but they write artificial intelligence applications or they design artificial intelligence solutions. So part of what I'm going to do in the morning here is define artificial intelligence for you, give you the background information on it, tell you, talk about the Turing test, talk about a bunch of the classical stuff, and then towards the afternoon we'll be applying it. And then tomorrow we're actually going to be using a couple of different languages two in particular, one prologue, the other one scheme. And don't be concerned, oh, I don't know prologue, I don't know scheme. Nobody knows these languages unless you've studied artificial intelligence. So one of them is used for programming logic. The other one is used for doing and working with lists and data and manipulating lists and applying functions on a list of data and stuff. So we'll be playing around with a couple of different programming languages. Works on both the Mac and the PC, so you don't have to worry about which platform you're on. You'll be able to install and run the programs, and you'll need a computer for that. So make sure you bring it tomorrow as a definite. Today you can probably get by half the day without it, but tomorrow you're going to need it. Otherwise it's going to be impossible for you to do anything. So what we're going to do is introduce the foundations of artificial intelligence, what it is from a computational point of view, but also from a representation. Talk about machine learning, problem solving, knowledge representation, decision trees, neural networks, support vectors, support vector machines, learning paradigms, all sorts of different topics that fall into artificial intelligence. You can read through the course objectives and the learning outcomes. I'm going to go through all of this in the first lecture, so I'm not going to kind of go through it right now. Required materials. The Norwich book. Peter Norwich. Actually, he teaches over at Stanford, puts together the free Stanford courses, if you've seen that. He actually puts out a really good book. It's available in PDF format all over the place. Older versions of it. I'm not recommending getting it illegally, but I'm saying that it's available electronically at a cheaper price than it is available in print. In print, it's a hardcover book. It's about $150. You're probably not going to buy the book. Well, you're probably not going to buy the hardcover book. If you have an e-reader or if you have like reading on your computer, you need to get a copy of the book. It's required reading for this course. Don't have the book with me. Actually, I have it in electronic format, actually, but buy it legally. Read it. Read chapters number 1, 2, and 3, as soon as possible, because that's what I'm covering today, actually. So that's how you're going to find out most of the information that's going to be on the exams, most of the information that's going to be in the assignments. The entire course is based upon that book. We're not going to cover all of the book, however. We're probably just going to cover the first half of it, because he gets into a lot of side tangents and a lot of different concepts that don't really apply to what we're trying to do here. It's really like a 2-semester course in that book. So we're just going to cover about half of it. And it won't be all of it from cover to cover. Half of it, it'll be, chapters 1, 2, 3, yes, and then 8, 9. So there's a chapter on games, game playing. There's a chapter on searching algorithms. The first couple of chapters on Turing test and the stuff I'm going to be covering today. Basic artificial intelligence concepts. Problem solving for AI, how to attack the problem solution to a particular problem. Frameworks, all the different steps you have to go through from problem definition to goal to solution. It's a different way of thinking, and his book is kind of pretty much the Bible in terms of artificial intelligence. I mean, it's the base book that everybody uses, so it's the book we're going to use. So it's not a bad resource, actually. Not a bad book to have in your library as well, because you might end up with an artificial intelligence issue that you'll have to deal with, and it kind of can give you some help and some strategies in terms of how to deal with the problem solving. All right. So in the class, we're going to have a final exam that's going to be in class during the second weekend meeting of this course. We also have a CSLO essay that's going to be due at the end of the course. We also have 6 AI hands-on assignments. They're not so bad. They're actually not too bad at all. They're pretty easy for the most part. I'm going to go over them, the first 3 or 4 that are going to be due before the next term. The course is going to be run just like the Oracle course, if you were in that 3-day Oracle course. Some of you who weren't, don't worry about it. It's all outlined in the syllabus. You just have to read it. We also have in-class assignments. There's going to be 12 of them. We'll be doing 2 per day. So we'll have 6 of them done today. And, 6 of them done by the end of the weekend, I should say, not necessarily today. Don't worry about the panic and the torture of having to submit it right now. It won't be due till Tuesday night. So you'll have a couple of days after the weekend ends to kind of put the finishing touches on everything and upload it into the EMS If you were in the Oracle class, you should have noticed that you already been graded. So those will be graded before the next meeting for this class. So I've tried to do it so when you come to the second meeting, you already have the grades for everything you did for the first meeting. So I already have, believe it or not, from the Oracle class, about 17 people who have failed the course. And they failed it because they failed to attend 3 days. They missed the weekend. If you miss 3 days, you're going to fail the course. This is how it works, though. You get morning and afternoon adding up. So that counts, there's 2 opportunities per day, so each day is cut in half. So it's really 6 times. If you fail 6 times, if you fail to show up 6 times, then you fail. So if you do like 2 this weekend and then 2 next weekend, you're going to fail. That's how it works. So a total of 3 days that you have to make sure you don't miss 3 days, long story short. So I get like a lot of emails, people sending me emails about, I'm going to be late, my flight doesn't arrive till noon. No problem, you just missed the morning. You still have the afternoon. I can't give you attendance for the morning if you're not here, but that's only half a day. So if you miss, believe it or not, you could actually miss both Fridays and still pass the class. It's only 2 days. If you miss the 3rd day, however, you're going to be in trouble. So don't miss 3 days and then plan on and then get into a car accident or miss your flight and not be able to get here, because then you're cutting it short. You're not giving yourself any slack. So, and even if you do miss the days, you're still responsible for the in-class activities, which is why I was bringing this up actually. The in-class activities can only be done, and they're only going to be talked about in class, and they're due on the Tuesday after the meeting, Tuesday after the weekend meeting, so you can't wait. So it's not a remote, it's not an online course, it's an attendance required course. And we also have a midterm exam. The midterm exam will be a take-home exam, and it'll be offered halfway through the course. I'll talk about the midterm on Sunday. So Sunday I'll be talking about the assignments, the final exam, the CSLO, the midterm. Sometime in between, I'm going to give you information for the final exam so you can start preparing. In fact, for the Oracle stuff, I should have that out pretty soon because our second weekend's coming up. But I will be sending out an email message to you guys with all of the information for the final exam, because you're going to have to come here and then you're going to have to spend Friday and Saturday, and then you're going to take the exam on Sunday. And the exam's on Sunday afternoon, by the way. It's not Sunday morning. So you have to stay Sunday. So it also counts as one of your attendance times. So long story short, make to plan it for the whole weekend. The weather's not too bad over here. It's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend too if you get bored, so. Academic dishonesty, we all know about that. One of the new things you may not be aware of, especially if you weren't in the Oracle class or haven't been around for a while. In fact, most of you guys are from the Oracle class, so I can probably skip through most of this stuff. But we have this thing called turnitin.com, and Turnitin is checking everything that you turn in. So if you submit something and it matches something on the internet, it's going to come back with a score, percent match. If it's below or above a certain percentage, I haven't actually seen this work yet, so I'm not quite sure exactly what the details are. It's going to flag it as being plagiarized, and then you're not going to get any credit for it. So it's an automatic system, so we don't have to check it anymore manually, and there's not really anyone around to check it anyway. So if we do it automatically, it makes sure that everything is original, which means you want to make sure that you don't quote more than 1 or 2 sentences. I think 3 sentences is the maximum that you can actually put inside of quotation marks. If you put more than 3 sentences, so you cut and pasted this 2 paragraphs off of Wikipedia and you stuck it in your, and you say, oh, there's no problem, I'm going to put quotes around it. Then I'm going to say Wikipedia on the bottom. Still not going to work for you. The rule is, I think, between 1 and 3 sentences that can be quoted with a proper reference citation that goes along with it, and then everything else has to be written by yourself. And that's per source, by the way. So if it's like from Wikipedia, you can quote a couple of sentences, and then from another source, you can quote a couple of sentences when you put your stuff together. You're really only going to have to worry about this for the CSLO, I believe, and also probably for the midterm. Your assignments are going to be programs that you're writing, so those, how are you going to check those? So I don't even think, I'm not quite sure how those are going to be tested actually, which is kind of weird. Although I was told that it does programs. I was told that it does everything. So, and obviously we'll be looking at it to see, wait a minute, everybody used the same variable name. That's not right. So there's also a way of testing it to make sure you can turn it in before you turn it in. There's a service, and if you want, you can send me an email message. I can give you the information for that, which I don't have yet. but apparently there's going to be ability for students to turn it in before they turn it in to see how it looks. You can also, throughout this entire weekend, show me your stuff and say, hey, does this look okay? And I can tell you yes or no. I can just tell by looking at it whether or not it's going to be red flagged or not. And it depends on how much you've copied off of the internet, basically. So my recommendation is to write everything yourself. Don't copy off the internet. And don't copy from your friends, because that's going to get you in trouble as well. So it's not just, it's the database of all the assignments that have been turned in. So it's not necessarily whether it came from an internet source. It could have come from another source. Already did attendance, grading formula. What do we got for the grading formula? It's the same stuff you've seen before. Don't give out A+. There's no such thing as an A+. The highest grade you can get is 100% in the course, which is an A. So, if you show up, you do the work, most likely you'll end up with an A or a B, depending upon how you do on your assignments. And we all know what happens if we don't show up. So what are we going to do? Each day we're going to have a meet from 9 to 6 p.m. with a 1-hour break for, well, okay, so don't look at this because we've changed it for this weekend. So you guys lucked out. We have an extra long lunch today, and we have no class tomorrow morning. We'll still get out at 6, however. So we'll go from 2 to, what did I say tomorrow? 1 o'clock tomorrow, 1 to 6 tomorrow. Today, 2 to 6. So okay, so here's the TA sitting in the corner that I keep talking to. One of your jobs is to make sure I remember what I'm supposed to remember. Keep me on time. Make sure I show up on time. Tomorrow's class is starting at 1 p.m. And today, break is from 12 to 2. Today. So we start back up at 2 o'clock. All right, perfect. So she's the one who keeps me on track. She's the one who takes your attendance. She's the one who answers any questions for you if you can't reach me. Otherwise, feel free to send me an email message. I always respond. So look at the schedule here. I'm just going to briefly, not going to go over the whole thing, bore you completely. What are we looking at here? We got from 9 o'clock to 9:15. We already did that stuff. So what I'm going to cover now is an overview of the course, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, and then I'm going to talk about intelligent agents and the different types of agents that exist. Then we're going to do the first lab assignment, and then we're going to break for lunch. And just change this 1 to a 2. We're going to come back and look at problem solving after lunch, which is really cool. So I'm really trying to get through lectures 1, 2, and 3 today. And it's not too bad, actually. And the first assignment doesn't require any programming or anything. So the in-class lab exercise number 1 is based upon the material I'm going to give you. So it doesn't actually even require that much textbook information. However, if you're bored while you're listening to me and you want something to do, see if you can find the textbook online. You can order the textbook, do it legally, download the textbook, do it legally, get your course materials, if that's the case, if that's the object, because you might want to use it this afternoon. And plus, if you're bored this evening or tomorrow morning, you might want to flip through the first couple of chapters. You know, if you can find the book, it would probably be a good resource for you, because it might help you understand some of the things that I'm going to kind of brush over at the speed of light as well. So, all right, so we have problem solving and searching, and then in the afternoon, when we come back at 2 o'clock, we're going to have another in-class lab assignment, and we'll get out by 6. So no guarantees exactly what time we're supposed to stay till 6, but it's going to be a long day for everybody. So we'll see what happens with that. So, and then Saturday, we're meeting at 9. We're not meeting at 9 o'clock anymore. We're meeting at 1 p.m. sharp. 1 p.m. sharp. So we're going to have to. I'm going to have to kind of stay a little bit longer, probably till 6 today, just to get all the material done that we were supposed to cover tomorrow morning, so you guys can do the assignments that you're going to need for tomorrow afternoon, so we can get still on schedule. So don't worry, it will all work out. So, and then Sunday we're also going to meet normal. Sunday's normal. Today is pretty normal except for lunch. So, and then after this weekend, the midterm exam will be handed out at the end of this weekend, and then it's going to be due and posted to the EMS by November 8th. By November 8th. Wow. So the late midterm exam will not be accepted. Well, I don't know if they even have the exam out there yet, but the exam won't be that taxing because it's not going to be due. We only have like 2 or 3 weeks left before November 8th. So I wonder if that date's wrong. Probably not. Is our next meeting November 8th? It is, November 9th. So this class is kind of weird because we don't have that much time in between. And we have an Oracle exam as well. So if you're taking both classes. So this particular class, I'm going to try to make as lightweight in terms of the expectation or the requirement, because it's actually more fun, I think, too. So lightweight, fun. I want you to enjoy it. So, and I know some of you are taking both classes, so we'll see how that works out. I'll have more information on Sunday. Oh, how did we get here? Did you just notice the lights went out? Oh, no, lights went back on. Okay. So we're going to have some really creepy Halloween ghosts going on in the seminar hall this weekend. Any questions about the syllabus before I stop rambling about the syllabus? Any questions about the course expectations or requirements? No, it's just those people who aren't here who are going to have questions about that. Questions about, how come I failed? Oh, because you weren't here. All right, so we're done with this part. So I'm going to stop the video. Oh, you do have a question, yes?
Yeah, one question regarding the exam.
Yes.
Intelligence, is it going to be all multiple choice, or?
I will probably create a multiple choice exam for the final exam for both courses, actually, for both Oracle and for, you're in the Oracle class too, right? Yeah. For both of the classes, we'll have a multiple choice exam. It's easier for me to grade, and it's easier for you to take. Any other questions? That was a good question, by the way. No? All right, so let me stop this one. Actually, I stopped it already, it looks like. No, I didn't. Okay, here we go.